some sauce.
It's cleaver time.
Thank you for that, Jonathan. We'll get into it. The game number 1, enough about your Korean rice rations or whatever the hell it was you were talking about. Tundra grouped up on the bottom side. Execration sticking to their own side of the map right now as well. It does feel like if you are Tundra, you've got a draft that would be more than happy to force a level 1 team fight right now, whereas Execration, you've got the Visage, so I can't say they don't have a draft that can fight level 1, but you still have to be certainly very careful here against Tundra. And for now, it doesn't seem like either team's going to run into each other. Just kind of avoid each other, secure your own runes. No need to get into a fight yet. We'll see, though. Rotating across the map they are.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, though. Execration is a team that loves to play aggressive early on. Or at least they used to, you know, back when we were watching C. That's what they used to do. That's what the region used to love to do. Just going to trade. A little bit of a better trade coming out for X as Bob does manage to slip one away. So he spams the voice lines. Oh my god.
You know,
oh god.
They've got to sell the voice, but they've got to sell the support back, Jonathan. I mean, this is the first game of the major for them. Start selling, boys.
Yeah, get the hype up. It is, to be fair, Southeast Asian voice lines are fairly popular. We've seen a lot of regions use them. Still, what's also pretty damn good is this mid matchup. Bob up against 9. The Pango versus Ember again. It's rather even. It's pretty skill-based. Maybe a little bit easier for the Ember to run down. Your Flame Guard's not going to melt. You can harass out with Sleight of Fist. And once you get your early minus armor items, Sleight of Fist is just going to really injure 9 unless he gets a good shield crash off. Rune control's pretty important for both sides. Maybe slightly more important for 9 and trying to kind of just get in and top up because his spells are pretty expensive in comparison, it feels like, to the Ember where Sleight of Fist is just 50 mana. So 9's gonna have to get some control there, maybe get some help from the supports, but with an Undying, you shouldn't expect Sneyking to be helping out. He is dominating this lane quite nicely early on, but mid contribution's not the best for the Undying there.
No, it certainly isn't. Speaking of that Undying, he's been going in for a bit of a fight here. Sneyking, of course, going up against Tino and Shanks, and he'll be there with Skiter, who is playing that Pos 1 Lina at the moment. Trying his best to just zone them away and allow that Lina that free space that she wants. And this is one of those duos as well in the safe lane of Tundra that just seems so potent. Like any kind of melee support that can just run up and hit people, along with a range core like Lina, who's the most broken hero in the game right now, it just seems so hard to go up against, even as the Rubik Visage. And you see Tino, like, he can't farm at all. He's being zoned out very effectively by Sneyking. Even now, Sneyking just chasing him down. He's almost dead.
Yeah, it's not a lane you can really sustain here on the Visage. They're going to get a pull off, but it's going to meet in the middle. Sneyking gets the pull back. So, yeah, Tino's not going to have a great fun. He's not going to have a great time. You still have more Mangos on Sneyking. You have the 10 magic wand charges, but you want to get aggressive on Visage. The thing is, again, reaching onto Alina's difficult. Bursting down and dying is extra difficult. So you're just not going to be able to get that aggressive lane going for Tino. And without that, this hero just doesn't dominate lane. There's no threat from Visage in laning phase. Refarm for Lina. You're going to have a pretty tough time trying to escalate with a slight advantage for the Visage there.
Do you think he goes the Soul Rip or the Tombstone at level 2? Because he's holding on to the skill point right now. Obviously, Soul Rip is better if you can just secure the kill, but you'd rather almost just go Tombstone if you can. Well, like, what do you reckon for Sneyking?
Either one is fine. Maybe you lean towards Tombstone a bit more because you don't need the defensive aspect of the Soul Rip. You're not going to need to heal up Skiter anytime soon. The heroes of Execration don't really have the best attack speed. Technically, Visage can with Grave Chill, but it's not particularly amazing. So Tombstone does give you more opportunities there for Sneyking, and should allow some pretty good team fights if you go for some like a 2-0 tree build up here.
Of course, we haven't really talked about the bot lane whatsoever, but we can have a quick gander there. Saksa is going to be on that pos for Ricky. He's going to be supporting 33 on that position 3 tied, and you're going to have Palos and Carlo on the Drow and the Treant. So far, not too bad for Palos. 33 just behind him in terms of CS. It seems like this lane may get maybe a little bit more challenging for Tundra as time goes on, especially once you get those frost arrows up a little bit higher in levels. Carlo as well on that train going to be very annoying to try and go up against, but it seems like Tundra have pretty much got this under control, right? Like, you're not really getting harassed too much by Palos or Carlo. They're just kind of avoiding any sort of engagement.
Yeah, this is the lane that Tundra would want to play slower. Again, they're doing the same thing, dragging the creep wave in awkward spots, forcing Palos to split his attention there, cut off his farm, just make it a little bit more uncomfy. Bob is starting to drop low. Nine's starting to find some of his own aggression coming out as well. Has the Blightstone to be able to trade back. Nice route from Bob here, though.
It certainly is, but Saksa is still going to chase him down. Has another blink charge available if he wants to go for the blink strike, and will do so. And with the swashbuckle, 9 right on the edge, connecting for the first blood. And this is the thing with 9's Pango. Like, he's such a specialist. When you see 9 pick this hero up, it's just like, what are we gonna do? This guy's too good when it comes to Pango.
And to be fair, Bob's been controlling that lane really well. He has a slight net worth advantage. We saw him poke and prod on 9 earlier, but his supports aren't able to leave the lanes because of how Tundra just work these lanes. They break the lanes. They keep dragging the creep waves away. They keep forcing response out from these laning supports. So you don't have room to kind of rotate mid and help out. 9 is out of mana, so Bob has an opportunity to harass a little bit more. You might be able to find 9 if 9's not too careful here. Or Bob.
Oh,
no.
Bob again gonna drop. 9 getting tipped here by 33. And I tell you, Don, it's like, I know 9 has a stupidly high hero pool. Like, he's very versatile, but when it comes to this Pango, he's a real monster.
That he is. He plays on the edge. Bob was looking to punish, copped a few too many hits from the tower. And he's the 2 deaths in the game. Not a good sign for Execration. At the same time, though, I mean...
Yeah, top lane. It looks like they're going to catch the Visage out here, and Tino's just gone. Skiter able to secure the kill. Sneyking, what he did there, John, he just blocked off the tree line. So he made it so there was no backing for Tino, and he just got caught by a very easy light strike array.
Yeah. Just blocks, has the tombstone, there's no support to help you clear that out. You don't have the highest attack speed. Even with a great chill, it just doesn't feel like a priority for the Visage to try to machine gun down. And they're starting to get their aggression out from Tundra. They've got room to send supports onto the mid. Saksa making his rotation out again. And if you suppress Bob this hard, I mean, he tends to playmake for the team. We always say this about Bob. He's either Bob the Builder or Bob the Wrecker. And Execration depends highly on his tempo here. He needs to get a recovery up against 9, but 9 a full 2 levels ahead. It's really hard to catch out this Pango at this moment. Rolling Thunder, you don't have the best stuns here on the side of Hexa. You've got a root and the lift back. Until you get maybe something like the Overgrowth, it's going to be pretty difficult to chain control that Pango who can just slip in and out.
Has been killed.
Rotations up top here by 9. They will see the Rubik, so Shanks will be on the run. 9 trying to cut him off. Sneyking keeping up the vision, but Shanks is just going to run the other way now. I think he's going to be alright on the Rubik. 9 gives up on it, just realizes he's probably just wasting his time. Makes his way back into the mid lane to go up against Bob once again. Even pump faking the Rolling Thunder, but the chains are going to come out. The amount of damage he pumps out with these swashbuckles, though, it's pretty darn ridiculous. And Bob, he'll go for a bit of a reset, but does have the Remnant to just Remnant back into the mid lane. It just, yeah, this mid lane is just not getting any easier. Like, now 9's got a full level advantage, already looking to roam around and try to secure a kill with this Rolling Thunder. It seems like we are going to have a quick pause to come out here from the Execration boys. Nonetheless, though, Jonathan, 1k advantage the way of Tundra so far. I've got to tell you, though, the only real saving grace right now for Execration does feel like the bottom lane, where you are seeing Palos farm decently on the Drow Ranger. But even then, it is still a Drow who's going to take some time to farm.
It's a Drow who's going to take time for farm. It's a Drow matching up against a Pango and a Ricky, so you do have some jump for the back line and ways to catch Palos out. It's going to be a little bit longer till Palos is secure. You might have to go for that BKB here. Probably should go for that BKB just for some protection from the roll. And that's a Drow with the timing of, like, what, Dragonlance, Force Staff BKB, or just Dragonlance BKB. That doesn't sound particularly great when you compare just how much more Tundra can do. The big issue for Execration is really just how slow Tino's lane is. Like, this Visage off to such a slow start, level 4 in the lane, without any sort of early itemization, no progression his items yet beyond just laning items. If he doesn't have impact, then you can't tie into that Drow timing at 6. You can't go for those pushes, you can't go for those plays.
Carlo bot lane 33 able to secure a kill on the Tidehunter now, so 0-4 the way of Tundra. A very confident kind of start here from the Dire end of things. mid lane. Rotations coming in. Bob gonna avoid the Rolling Thunder for now, but still get stunned up onto the high ground. Saksa is around, but he won't be able to follow up at all on the pos for Ricky. Nice kind of positioning there from Bob to get near the cliff, knowing he's going to get knocked into the high ground anyway. So just never needed to really throw out a remnant to try and get away from that. With that, 9, looks like he's just going to go for a reset. Back to the base for him.
Yeah, I mean, he still maintains a pretty sweet XP lead, still a level ahead of Bob. And Bob has some room to recover, but it's slow going for Ember. Not too far behind, to be fair. So he does still have room to grow. I think the one thing is they really do have to protect Palos. So you're getting levels here on Tundra and you can run him down.
See,
It was
across the map though, here comes Bob. Skiter would be targeted though. No, the chains lands on Sneyking and that's it. Bob just, that's enough for him. He just chains and walks away. Back to the mid lane he goes. It's a bit of a warning shot. Does make 9 rotate up on the Pango at the very least, so you do force a rotation. Problem is, 9's probably going to find some kills out of this. Shanks already probably just going to get blown up and does. Instant Laguna from Skiter will get it done. And well, 9 even looking for a bit more now. Love to find this Visage. Tino, they'll check the tree line. They know he's in there somewhere. Tino going to try and juke this one out. No Rolling Thunder yet, but there you go. They find him. Bob will rotate, but it's all too late. Light Striker Ray's already landed. Skiter, he'll find himself a 3rd kill as Bob still gets stunned up here by 9. Rolling Thunder will try to get him his way out. Bob on the chase with the Remnant would love this kill. Chains will connect. 9 will stick charge up, trying to run. Light Striker Ray does land. He might just make it out. Bob is still chasing, but no, the Sleight of Fist. It doesn't land. 9's gonna be alright. Skiter, he will lose his courier at the least, so you do lose your javelin. So something does come out of this for Execration, but they find no kills.
Yeah, it's rough going. And Tundra just playing so clean right now, not giving any openings out. They're even chasing out Bob some more. They're not leaving this Ember alone. They understand Execration's tempo will come from the Ember, so they just match his movement up top. 9 recognizes that he has to just destroy what Bob wants to do this game and ensure the Ember is pretty much a non-factor in this game. Like, at some point, he is going to be mobile.
Skiter, he does get caught. This time around, they will secure the kill. Tino with the Familiars, John, able to finally get it done.
That's a big kill. Like, again, Tino's lane has been pretty disastrous. Needs any catch-up he can find. And with the Familiars, you can start to apply some pressure. You could maybe even connect towards Palos if you feel the need to just melt a couple of objectives really quickly, but you don't really have the aura game going on Tino yet. Still finding that kill opportunity is big. First kill of the game for Execration. They have a lot more to close out, though. And for Tundra's side, I mean, yes, you lose your Lina, but she's still farming really damn well. It's not putting that big of a hindrance to her, although she's starting to lag a little bit behind in that part, but she has been staying in that lane, not really going for any sort of jungle creeps and just feeding off of those lane creeps anyway. There's still room to grow. And you're not really taking any more of the map here in XA. Like, yes, you find your first kill. Map pressure is not changing. Tundra still has all of their tier 1s really healthy, so this push timing Execration is looking to pull out with Round Visage. Not quite there yet. Then again, you've also got your own stall in Exa again with Carlos, Treant, and just Living Armor up when Tundra does commit, which they don't really care for. Their lineup's not built to push outside of Lina, so you can just play in your own jungle, farm up, and look for these pickoffs every time.
Could be a big fight over these 12-minute power runes.
Has been killed.
A lot of rotations incoming. Saksa revealing himself by taking Bob's courier. There is going to be a power rune down on the bottom side, it seems. Bob, he picks up the haste, and they've got 9 again. Massive pick up here for Execration, just bringing the numbers, ensuring they get it done. Very important they keep dealing with this Pango like this. Now, another chain's out, Bob.
Oh.
He's going to find Sneyking this time around, and that'll be another. Sneyking trying to survive, but can't do it. He will drop to the Ember.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Big kills. Bob bouncing back from a couple of deaths in the laning phase. They drag Palos in to get this pressure on the mid tier 1. The push time for Execration. Connecting ever so surely onto the mid. Big tower to take. Opens up the jungle. Relieves some of the pressure on Tino. as he can start to pressure that tier 1 mid with the Lina shifting into the jungle. Still a lot of stacks here from Tundra that the side of Execration haven't really contested. And even with the mid tier 1 gone, they haven't been able to really scout out as much. And just look at the difference in information. Like Tundra, they've got good wards in the triangle. They've managed to block off a camp, and making it really hellish for the side of Execration to match what Tundra's doing in their own economy. And even if you bleed out kills like that, with your map state the way it is for Tundra, you're still fairly alright with that. You're still going to hit this 15-minute timing for Saksa as well. And that's where the aggression really kicks in for Tundra, with all the setup in the world.
Yeah, the sleeping dart is so broken again. When you have a hero like Lina to follow up with the light strike array, it's not very fun getting put to sleep with that sleeping dart. Tundra, they're going to smoke up as 3, head towards that top side and see if they can find Tino. Shanks in a very nice position to break the smoke, but still looks like he might just get caught as Tino. He will go for a bit of a run, but the Rolling Thunder will eventually connect from 9. Then your Laguna is going to provide plenty of damage from Skiter, who does now have the full Maelstrom up. 9 even picked up the defusal at the same time. Mid lane, rotation in from Skiter trying to hunt down Bob on the Ember, but he's going to be okay to back off. Still Tundra finding a very important target for themselves in that Visage. Seems like it's going to be good enough for them. They might even run into Bob. Chains out. Bob will be the hunter. Sneyking being the hunted, he will go down.
Execration starting to get a grip on the game, finding some good punishment out. Still only support kills there, at least with that kill on Sneyking, but you're building up in Bob. This is really the pushing point. Bob, Maelstrom flying out of his own now. More damage coming out from him, able to control the lanes a lot better, contributing damage here. And Palos is just getting some good participation out of these fights as well. Like, this Drow has been left alone. We talked about maybe jumping her down in bot. She just shifts into mid, goes into the jungle. And if you're not able to catch Palos out, it can farm a lot faster than Lina early on, depending on the map state, but it certainly doesn't fall behind Lina all too much. So you will have to respect that Drow as the game goes on. Poking and prodding up top here.
They are still trying to find that top tier 1 tower is Execration. Of course, Tundra doing the exact same thing down at bot lane at the moment as 9 trying his best to defend with the swashbuckle. Rolling Thunder is back up and available if he wants to try and commit, but he needs the help. They are incoming now. 33 joining the team with his own pipe up on the tide. Has Ravage available. He will leave the building. Tino, he may not have the same luxury. He's going to try and run down south, but there's no way he gets out. Meanwhile, Shanks will at least TP away. But Tino's constantly the sacrificial lamb. Going down once again on the off-lane Visage. And Tundra, they'll just take down the top tier 1 tower.
It's going to be the first tower take for Tundra. Not the biggest objective in the world. You know, you still maintain pretty decent triangle control from Execration's end, so you're not too annoyed about that on X's part, but Tundra will make use of that opportunity with his smoke. Good angle to maybe catch out Bob if he's getting a bit too aggressive here.
Bob's very far forward.
Top tower is under attack.
Tundra still smoking around. Bob gets lucky with an arcane rune. Saksa not going to bother trying to jump in on the Ember. We'll just leave him be. He does have the sleeping dart on the way though with the shards, so big itemization here from Saksa is now Skiter. He's a massive target if they can find him, and they've got the chains out into the gust. The Lina is going to go down. That's a huge pickup for Execration. Meanwhile, towards the south though, it seems like Tino once again has been caught out, but Bob is going to rotate in on the Ember, but won't be able to do much without some help, so he'll leave it be. Tino goes down for the pos 1 Lina. It's still a positive trade in the end for Execration.
Yeah, more than happy. And you've just accepted at this point that Tino is just going to get a bit sacked here. Progression's going to be a bit slow. He's still slowly going to the raid pack. They have revealed that sleeping dart though.
Yeah, they have. They try and take down Shanks on the Rubik. Rolling Thunder from 9, trying to chase down Bob, but Bob's going to be just fine to back his way out. They are buying a lot of space though. 33 is just casually taking over that T1 mid tower.
Radiant's middle
won't completely take it away, but it's basically already dead. Very, very low on HP. As Bob, he gets caught by a sleeping dart. They'll smoke screen him up. 9, he'll move in, and they've just got so much damage. Even with Shanks popping the Rolling Thunder himself on the Rubik, it is not going to make the difference. Meanwhile, bottom lane, though, Skiter is going to get caught once again by Palos. So the Drow does pick up the Lina, but it is going to cost her own life. Tundra will punish. And Skiter will hand over a tip.
The worst part is the voice lines afterwards. And they're finding ways to deal with Lina, right? That is the big question on my mind from Execration. And will you be able to kind of keep that Lina in check? And they have done a great job of it. It is coming at sacrifices. They play really far forward in that bot jungle as well. And just maybe overstepping their bounds, not respecting the TP rotations that can come out. Sacrifice 2 big cores for that kill. So you are building up quite nicely on 9. This Pango is just a menace. Defuse up, all the spins in the world, so much output to play with the team. And we're just seeing the difference right now in what both teams want to do. We've seen Tundra group up a lot more. They know they've got stronger team fight. They haven't even had to pop any Ravage from 33 just yet. Just no need to. They've got enough control from the Ricky, from the Lina coming out, from the rolls that we're getting here from 9. And the side of Execration, they're doing a pretty good job to just stay equal despite these rocky lanes. Like, it looked pretty atrocious early on, but they're about to hit some good timings. Palos BKB will allow the Drought to just stand forward, not really care about anything at all. And after you get a couple of 4 stabs up on everyone else, maybe on the supports, you have much more play. In fact, you already have the blink up on Carlo. So the blink overgrowth's there as well to set up and get some saves out if need be.
Well, it seems like Execration, they do want the fight. It was a 3-man smoke, but it's not going to amount to much. Still, Roshan has started, and it seems like Execration are well aware that it might be happening. If they do jump in, Shanks, he'll tumble Twain himself, realizing, but does go for the Rolling Thunder. So he will be able to get out. They've got the information, but they also know they have to fight into a Ravage, into a Rolling Thunder of the Pango. And it's just not going to be that easy in the Roshan pit to make a jump in. Especially with the constant smoke screens flying out from Saksa. Very, very hard to know when to jump in as well, as Roshan is still going down, very low now. Execration, they are sticking around, but it doesn't seem like they're going to even try for this. They might just let this one go to Tundra. Gitter will pick up the Aegis, and that'll be enough for them. Execration, they'll just take the time to keep that farm going.
Just sit back. You know you can't take fights in such a tight area. You can't even get the blink overgrowth with a smoke screen on top, so just surrender it, cut your losses. Tundra, they are ready to make plays though. And they've had their ults up. They are ready to just go in, make a move. Can get a good flank here on Shanks and Tino, but doesn't feel like you really want the Visage anymore. You want to find that Drow. You want to find Palos. He's always playing the opposite side of the map, so just very heads up, taking all the safe farm for himself, and just allowing his team to make that space. We are starting to rapidly hit this point where Tundra's mid-game is just going to be massive. BKB coming up next for Skiter, so you're not going to have great ways to control from Exa unless you get Carlo with a good blink overgrowth. Even then, again, pretty hard to do in this game with a Ricky around if he camps you constantly here. And there's massive ways of just canceling the blink from range anyway. So the angles for Carlo are just super limited unless he just sneaks around really, really carefully.
Tundra sticking around here at the top lane. Might rotate mid because the tier 1 tower is still standing, and Carlo, he's going to jump in here with Palos. They're going to try up to 33, but that's way too tanky of a target. Sleeping Dart is going to fly in right onto the ground. Now with the Rolling Thunder and the Ravage, it's going to connect on all 3 heroes of Execration. Palos pops the BKB, trying to fight back. He'll move on to Sneyking and at least finds an Undying. They will lose Carlo, but at the very least, Palos does survive.
And Palos survives. It does cost him his BKB charge, which is a pretty big take from Tundra. They did have to sacrifice the Ravage, so you did manage to pop out or force out a pretty big teamfight ult there and still live through it for Execration. But you can't really reach into these tankier targets just yet. If Palos can just focus in, you could still take out someone like 33, but it's a very prolonged process. And they are still taking some decent fights, even with the Aegis threat up from Tundra. But for Tundra's part, and as this game goes on, it just feels like they have pretty sick timings to hit. Not that Execration doesn't scale as well. Bob, he's still lagging behind by a small amount, but the Ember can scale well, though.
Radiant's bottom
Bob,
tower
a
is
few
under
panic
attack.
remnants there, but does get his way out. That's all that matters for him. The bottom tier 1 tower not going to last. The Skiter just gets right to work on the laner. We'll take care of it, no problems. So 7 to 12 now, 3k advantage still the way of Tundra. And obviously for Execration, they don't really want to try and fight into Tundra with the Aegis up on Skiter. Just going to have to wait another 2 minutes or so before they even try for a fight. I think for Tundra, they're just more than happy with this. They love the farming time. They're just very efficient as a team. They still control majority of the map, I'd argue, but they are yet to take that mid-tier 1 tower. So 33, he will move in and try to get that done. It is a very slow process for the Tide, but with Skiter just behind him, it's not going to take too long. And it's gone.
Middle tower has fallen.
And they stalled that one well in Execration. I remember a while ago it looked low enough to drop with 2-2-3 up front, but they keep it up for, what, an additional 10 minutes there? So they're buying themselves some good time on Execration's part, but Tundra is still in the driver's seat. Not a massive lead, 3k, but they have much more even farm distribution between their 3 cores. You're lagging pretty far behind on Tino and Bob here on Execration's part while getting Palos up and running. You do have the auras starting to come together now. You've got the mech up and running now as well for 9 into the Guardian Greaves, not too far off. Tino also has his own mech up along with the Guardian Greaves, so it is going to be one of those games where it's going to be down to how well you can use your auras as well. So we still get the classic Southeast Asian pauses. How? We're across the world. It was a 30-hour flight, guys.
You can take the boys out of SCA, but you can't take the SCA out of the boys, Jonathan. There'll always be these problems for the SCA boys, and it seems like the power went out on the PC of Carlo, so maybe a bit of time to reconnect. But you know, current state of the game, 3k advantage towards Tundra, 7-12. It still feels like they're in complete control of this game 1. Mind you, the one kind of great factor for Execration is Palos is top of the net worth board right now. On the ground, he has been for quite a while, so you can kind of rely on Palos to try and win you out the game. But when you look at the other cores of Execration, it feels like they're kind of being sacrificed for that. You know, Bob's not really doing that amazingly on the Ember, and well, for Tino, we kind of know what happened to Tino at that top lane. It wasn't a very pleasant experience for him.
Yeah, he's managed to recover quite well, though. Again, already on the mech, not too far off from the Guardian Greaves. Just needs the energy booster and the buckler coming up next. So he's going to be able to be that walking aura bot for the team with a rate pack up as well. I think the one thing in the scaling for these two teams, as this drags on into the 30-40 minute mark, the one thing is, for Tundra, it feels like you have a bit of a timer on Sneyking on the Undying, right? Like he's not going to be the aura bot, so that's not going to be his main contribution. He will have the tombstone to throw out, but right now it's stuck on level 1, so he's going to need more levels, and that's not something you'll pump into your pos 5 at this point as well. The one issue for Tundra, like, your cores will scale decently. Like, Pango can scale quite nicely, Tide can itemize the scale quite nicely as well, as 33 is going for the Hex here for just some more instant jump control with his Blink and Force Staff up and running. But I am curious about how much Sneyking can contribute. If you force these fights in really favorable areas, the Tombstone's all just going to be great. And that can just force the attention of the Drow away, force the attention of the Visage away onto that target, providing openings for the rest of Tundra. But your hold for the Ember, once you pop Ravage, it's going to be down to roll, not the most reliable. It's going to be down to LSA. Maybe you just play with this LSA dart setup. They haven't been able to really catch Bob out recently. To be fair, he's not going for anything too defensive either. Like, he's got the Sanj going into the Kaya Sanj. No BKB. So he is vulnerable if you find the angle, but they have not been able to do that recently. And it's all just going to be down to execution. If they don't manage to, say, instantly jump these two big cores in the Ember and Drow in these fights, as they have done before, then Execration finds a window to back off, down to BKB usage there as well, and spacing. So it's not cut and dry. I don't think a 3k lead's enough to boost your confidence that much for Tundra, but the way they're playing the map is definitely a lot more in control. Execration are the ones constantly backing off. They're taking over the top jungle. They could go for a bit of a shove in the top tier 1, but you're going to have to trade in that case, and Tundra will always be willing to fight in a fight back for the death up top with the Aegis still running on Skiter. I mean, he still has a full minute in that thing.
He certainly does. See what they do. I mean, you might want to try for the tier 2, but like you said, you're not going to have enough time. They will fight, they will TP rotate. Tundra more than happy to oblige, though it is still a close game. Like, it's a 3k advantage to Tundra, but Execration no way out of this game yet. It's just a matter of when they're actually going to go for the big 5v5 team fight, though, because we haven't seen one of those. And those are the kind of fights that tend to swing the whole game quite hard in one way or the other. Still waiting for this this reconnection here from Carlo, though. Hopefully everything going just fine. Meanwhile, Bob, I mean, he's gone for the Kai Assange build-up, which is rather interesting for the Ember. Not opting for a BKB himself this game, just going for the Kai Assange instead. Suppose it's fair enough. Maybe just the status position is a bit better when you're playing against the Ricky. That sleeping dart, very, very annoying to play against. It does feel like one of those games, though, where there is a lot of impact having a BKB, though, I must admit. There's just so many stuns available on Tundra.
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel like he needs it yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, there is an advantage to having a later BKB. You're going to have that 9-second charge at, you know, around 30 minutes in, depending on the timing Bob wants to hit for that. And that just turns the team fight really well, especially to hero as mobile as an Ember. 9 seconds to freely do what you want in the middle of these fights without being controlled. It's a big opening. So I don't mind that too much, as the side of Execration, again, aren't really taking too many wider fights. They just aren't willing. They understand that's where Tundra shines, so they just sit back, play this economy game, build up, really build up under Drow, and just hit that point where they're massive. We do have a reconnect coming out from Carlo soon. It's very nice to see. He does reconnect. There you go. It's still so strange. Like, every time they're on land, these Southeast Asian teams always have a PC issue. Are they just cursed? Is it something when they touch something? It's just it just short circuits because they know, hey, it's Southeast Asian. Let's short circuit this PC. There you go.
You always told me Filipino is just hard mode in life, so there you go.
It is.
The PC knows. They know.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bob showing down bot, and that's, I mean, you can just play tag with Sleight of Fist, but they've got a lot here if they want to try to kill off this Ember.
Certainly do have quite a bit. Bob playing on the edge here with that Sleight of Fist, but it doesn't seem like Tundra want to try and react to this. They'll just kind of ignore him for now. The T2 tower is still dropping relatively quickly thanks to skiter. No creep wave there, but the backdoor has not kicked in. And it just goes down. Bob's trying to creep skip the best he possibly can right now, but it just doesn't matter because they've already lost the T2 tower. And meanwhile, Saksa is currently just waiting for Bob exactly where he remnanted. Bob will be allowed to walk away for now, as it doesn't seem like Saksa had the support he wanted.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Just constantly getting information on this Ricky, though, for the side of Tundra. As they group up once again into the mid lane, just ready to take these T2 towers. Jump in, Carlo, he'll be targeted by 33. Saksa is there with the sleeping dart. The tree is getting almost deleted already, and there's your Laguna Blade. That'll get it done. Palos, he's going to try to get on Skiter. Skiter, he does have his Aegis expire, and BKB is popped to try and back his way up. But Bob, I thought he might try for a chase, but it's basically just on his own. I mean, this is all for a Treant. At the very least, they do force the buyback of Carlo as well.
Yeah, that's a nice buyback to force out. Execration, if they did find a angle back in, Overgrowth would have been amazing in that fight. So Tundra knows to just retreat, don't force the issue. Now, we've already popped the BKB on Lina. She's going to be rather exposed in the middle of that engagement. Palos is very patient with his. So you just take that win all.
Yeah, he's all right. He does run it back.
If the dart followed him.
Down, of course. Yeah. Because why not?
Oh, that's so funny.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't disjoint, so, you know, if it's flying out to you, it's flying out to you. Very good shots coming out from Ricky. He can aim really well. He doesn't even have, like, a tranquilizer gun. He's just lobbing this stuff at you. Has really good accuracy.
Bob? I mean, Bob's going to show up. Saksa. Not going to bother throwing out the sleeping dart this time around onto the Ember.
Dire's top tower is under
Top
attack.
T2 is going to be under siege here from Tino, and that's going to force some rotations in from Tundra. In fact, forcing in all rotations from Tundra. They really want the team fight. And Tino's going to be targeted once again on this Visage. Well, 33 does have the Ravage up. They have found the Drow on the backside. 9 forced the back off as 33 could not blink in. So the Familiars continued hitting the tide, so he could not make that blink that he wanted. It's very patient gameplay from Tundra. 33 now, going to be attacked by Palos. It's a fair bit of damage coming in, but there are hills to come out from Sneyking as they do land the sleeping down to the Drow. They've just done out as well 33, but Palos will pop the BKB and move in onto Sneyking. Sneyking a tanky target, but with Shanks, and that's stolen Laguna Blade. It is going to be more than enough. Problem is Tino. Tino's going down, and now a big Ravage. 33's found 2 on the backside. More importantly, he found the Drow. Palos is going to melt. Skiter on a double. As Bob does show up in the end, but needs to back off. It's too late.
So patient on Tundra. They just sit out that BKB duration and Palos come in when it's already off. And they get the angles to melt. They commit so hard in that tier 2 and they don't even find it on Execration's end. Great defense coming out from Tundra. A little bit more of a shove from Tino should take care of that. You don't have the trees on your side here for Tundra. So you can't just infinitely stall on the objectives. They find a punishment. They've got the 7k lead up and running on Tundra's end. Bob playing poke.
Yeah, luckily for him, Skiter is completely alone right now, so they won't have the backup yet, but there is some help coming in. 9 with the rolling thunder just preemptively. Pop was rolling towards the south, trying to get there in time, but actually just has to give up on that kill attempt. Still, Tundra, they control the whole map now. Like, there's an A.K.A advantage their way. They just control everything on the map. Execration, they're the ones that are currently getting choked out of the map. They've basically only got access to their triangle.
Yeah, and it's going to be really limiting for the farm of Palos, who has started to lag behind Skiter now, especially with that death under his belt. So, Tundra, and this is the point where they're just in control. They can just wait for the next Roche, they can just keep clumping up. Execration's counterplay is just not quite there. Bob, he's trying to go into the BKB with a shard up and running now. Once you have that Ember BKB, he's going to be much more willing to be up front for the team. Cop the hits, get controls, find some openings to allow Palos to stream in. But until that point, you are just going to be stalling, and Tundra aren't backing off from this side of the river. They're just willing to play on the Radiant end and just constantly scare Execration out.
Yeah. 5-man smoke up again, Tundra. They want to move into that Radiant triangle, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be too hard because nobody's really there apart from Tino. And Tino, he's going to show up at the exact wrong moment, or maybe not. Maybe he wants the fight, but he does get lifted up. Saved by Shanks for now, but not for long. Still a tanky boy, trying to run the best he possibly can. He will go for the stone form to heal up. Meanwhile, 9 on the side has found Carlo on the tree as well as the drow. Palos still trying to fight this one out. Tino in the meantime is already gone. Tundra just very coordinated, making sure not to give Execration any opportunity to try and fight back from the low ground. And so Tino drops. They'll occupy the triangle. And Execration, again, they're kind of struggling to find anywhere to farm now.
Yeah, they basically take the one area where Palos is just trying to build up. So now he has to go down in the bot jungle. They don't have vision in this area for Execration's part. Very susceptible to more movement out from Tundra. And that's Tundra taking a big fight without even the Ravage up and running. They're going to have that up again. They're still clumped up here.
But they are 9. He'd be a nice target if they can secure it. 9, though, he has the Ogre Sill Totem, so he's just going to be able to jump out of there. And meanwhile, there is going to be a jump in from 33. He's just such a tanky boy. They do get an overgrowth off here from Carlo, but is it going to be enough? Is there enough follow-up damage? It doesn't seem like it. 33, he'll jump in for a 2-man Ravage, and they've got the Drow once again. That's the big target. Stolen Ravage by Shanks, but it won't matter. They just haven't got the follow-up. Tino's still trying to run, but there's no escape. He'll go for the stone form, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. Skiter is waiting back. No, never mind. He's still running. He's all right for now. 33 will jump back in. But no, they land the stun. Skitter's there. Familiar's going, but they've got the sleeping dart. They'll have it their way with him eventually. He missed the stun? I'm not sure how, but he misses the light strike array there. To Skiter, he'll try to run, but the familiars are still chasing. He'll barely survive on 20 HP. Meanwhile, 33 now being chased down the tide. Still a very tanky boy, so just going to be okay to back off, it seems, with the chase is ongoing. Bob will continue trying, but Saksa is going to be there with the sleeping dart. Slow him down and make sure the chase cannot continue. How did that light strike array miss? Just a misclick, I guess.
I mean, just not the right angle. Execration does manage to bail out, but they still lose a lot in that fight. They find an opportunity for Roche. They know Ravage is down. They know some of that team fight threat's gone. They've got a pretty good angle for this. Invis rune on 33 though. He could still play with the Tendrils of the Deep here.
Certainly could. The tendrils are available. 33 completely unscouted, though the familiars are stunning him up right now. But Roshan's still alive. He might have time to steal this one. Overgrowth by Palos. He's got the Aegis up, but Bob is already gone. Getting bursted down by Skiter. Still, can they try to get anything out of this? Apart from the Roshan, it doesn't seem like it. There's 4 down for the side of Execration. Palos is the only survivor. And it doesn't seem like that's going to be for very long either. First life is gone. Second life, probably not going to last very long. He's just trapped between a rock and a hard place. He will go down. Skiter with a triple kill on the Lina. That's a full team wipe for Tundra.
Just getting very disciplined. They sneak in. They don't manage to snag Roshway, but they find something bigger in that team fight anyway. They get the kills they need. They've got an opening to take more objectives. It was so strange to watch. I believe Shanks actually had Laguna'd 33 as he TP'd out, so it missed because he was really low. I don't think the pipe was actually on. The barrier wasn't up. So it was just on the same tick, and I guess the relocate happened. iframe for that and couldn't get the kill. Perhaps. Maybe I'm just reading the order wrong, and he actually did have a barrier up. Still, Tundra, they play on the edge. They find a big wins. They take a racks off. So easy to do when you've got that Lina up with a full Satanic now, along with the AC. And Execration, they've had a couple of moments where it looked good, but Tundra just keeps dancing around him. They just keep backing off the right time. They're not providing any openings. Just extremely clean gameplay from Tundra. And for Exa, it's getting harder and harder for them to get back into this game. They're 19k behind. These heroes up front are so hard to burst down. Even Sneyking is pretty hard to handle if his angling's right. It's just constantly getting tankier and using up the case, and oh boy.
Yeah, Bob just gets taken down bot lane, caught completely alone. He will drop. Skiter will take another. Like you said, John, just complete control here from Tundra. Very, very clean gameplays. Well, they're back into the mid lane now. 33 just has no fear in the world. Who's going to kill him? They're going to try again. Palos is the only one that does any damage to this time. And even then, if there's no lockdown for him, he's just going to walk away every single time.
Yeah, he's just so durable. Like, even your hypothermia doesn't really matter. You just dispels it off with a Kraken anyways. You can't give that threat of bursting him down on Execration's part. They don't have the burstiest lineup outside of just the Drow's raw output. And they're just forced to stand high ground. Like, they can't even dip out into the jungle. Tundra just keeps the map their way, shoving out all the waves, preventing any angles for recovery on Execration, and just making it near impossible to come back unless something really funky happens on high ground.
$21k advantage here for Tundra. Bob still trying to split push the bottom lane. Needs to be very cautious though. There are Saksa around on the Ricky. Bob going to show himself on the Ember, and Saksa just casually waiting, but not going to be able to catch him out. Bob going to be alright to remnant back towards his team. Tundra still looking for that high ground push into the mid lane. Palos. Clear out the creep wave. 33 is watching that. Force starts it forward. Oh, that's disgusting. He force starts the Drow forward. Hexes immediately. It's just one of those things with 33. Like, he really understands how to utilize all his items. And just the force start with the side device. It's just not something you'd expect.
Yeah, it's... You're standing high ground, you feel safe, a little vision out, and suddenly you just taken away. No buyback on Palos. High ground falls so fast. Oh, force that again on
Side device. Yeah, another 4-star and side device on Tino. He will survive, but it's like, oh, so we can't even face the side of Tundra right now. Like, quite literally. He'll just 4-star us too far. How annoying. 9 jumps in. Shield crashes there. Bob, he's going to be okay to back off, but Tundra, they're just going to go for the Megas. Through the bot lane. It's the final lane of barracks they need. And it's really not going to take them that long. Not with this Lina. Bob continues to chip away, but another side device is out. Sleeping down to put him to sleep. They do at least lift him away. So the Ember will survive. But the bot racks, that will not. Skiter, he'll just keep going. Will back off just momentarily, but he has the BKB, so he could just pop it and go for the final barracks. He's only 194 HP away from dying. Tundra, they're not backing off yet. 33, he'll get it done himself. If my carry doesn't want to do it, I'll do what he says. More stuff away then. Nice lift up and now a big overgrowth now from Carlo, but where's the follow-up damage? They're still trying on to 33, but he'll just jump away. Laguna's there though. They do burst him down. That's one down for the side of Tundra, but Mega Creeps are up. Shanks will drop on the Rubik in the meantime. They are not safe yet either. Jump back in onto Bob. Bob's going to be okay. Tino's been caught as well, but he's still trying to fight. 9, he'll roll up, trying to roll his way out of there. There will be a buyback from Shanks on the Rubik. In goes our Trina as well, but he's already committed the overgrowth. Skinner, man up and fights this one out on the Lina. Still trying. Pops the Satanic. Hills up all the way. Stuns up the Drow, but has to back off. Bob's found 9, Bob found Sneyking, and Bob wants more. They'll even take down Saksa. Problem is, John, Tundra already got the Megas.
Yeah, playing against Megas in this circumstance for Execration, not gonna be fun. They're so far behind. They need to find a way to close on gold. Mega Creeps are just worth way less. And you do have the full BKB up and running for Bob. He's trying to go into the Ags. It's at that point where the Ember will feel massive, but with all the control Tundra has, I mean, even if the Ember is allowed to dance around, your output's enough to focus him solo as well. And for the side of Execration, they need to find a way to drag Tundra out. And when you're playing like this, you just don't have control of the map. You have no initiative on your side on Execration. If you smoke up, it's very, very obvious as well. So they can't really make moves across the map. Tundra's just in complete control. And if they just pierce high ground once more, with another good set of combos out from 33 with a follow tree ready, Execration just don't have the tools. Look at Palos. He's just queuing up the Divine. He knows it's at that point where we've got to go all in. We need some output. We need a way of just allowing ourselves some burst damage. The only way for him to do that is with that full risky Divine. But when you're this far behind, I mean, you just go for that Hail Mary.
Absolutely. I mean, you may as well. Like, the game's basically already over. May as well try for the Divine, get that comeback going. Tundra. See, no fear from themselves. They've just got so much to play with at the moment as they do smoke up once again. Carlo will break the smoke of 33, but top lane, it seems like they have found the Drow, and that'll be Palos trying to BKB and run away, but Saksa is right on the chase. Gets him with a blink strike.
Yes.
At least you've got buyback available, but that's only going to set back his Divine Rapier timing. By quite a lot, in fact, as 9. I thought he diffused up Tino, but it was actually just the familiar. Messing around with Execration now.
Yeah, no need to really push the envelope too hard here on Tundra. They just need to look for the end game, and they're already making their way up high ground anyway.
Lifting that out, Saksa. He's going to lock down the Rubik. Rolling Thunder will be there from 9 to make sure the Rubik just gets held down, and Skiter just go right to work on the Lina. It's going to force the buyback out from Palos, but you've lost the Rubik without buyback. And Tundra, I mean, they may not even rush for the high ground. Like, they could just keep farming the map if they really want to. But no, they are going to go for a 5-man smoker. See who they can find in the Radiant base. Palos, he'd be the primary target because he just bought back. 9 will jump in for a shield crash. He does end up finding Carlo on the tree and Protector. And that's just another one down. Palos just currently hiding in the southern tree line, hoping they don't scout him out.
Middle tower is under attack.
Tundra, we'll see another buyback, and that might actually just be enough for them to back it.
It's really
Yeah, they respect it, and there's no pressure, right? You're just wasting resources coming out here from Execration. They're having to hold on to the high ground. And Shanks very well aware that they've got a very low chance right now to win. What is our actual probability? 0%. 100% for Tundra. It's just a matter of, I suppose, seeing how the game ends. But it does look like a foregone conclusion as they are going to the Roach. No contestation coming out from Exet. And Tundra with a secondary life on Skiter with a full Daedalus on top of everything else now. Literally nothing can stop them. Unless they somehow misstep, but I don't see Execration making a play that forces a misstep here.
Bob's okay. He's going to run it away. I do agree with you, John. It's very hard to see a misstep being made by Tundra. Especially when you've got Megas up and you're 26k ahead. Even with a misstep, like, it's going to have to be quite a few missteps. It's going to be you're going to have to fall down the stairs for this one to be a comeback from Execration. Right now, I mean, the stairs don't even exist. Execration, they're going to have to start building those stairs. They are still pushing out these waves across the side lanes, but Tundra is just currently casually waiting in the wake. Through the mid lane they go, Tundra. In fact, never mind the mid lane, they might want to go bot. Palos, he do not farm that creep wave, sir. He will not.
Dire are scanning.
Tundra's still waiting to just go high ground. Carlo, you are not invis at the moment. We'll go back into the tree line. Oh, 9, he's gonna find it. He knows the swashbuckle connected. Doesn't have the detection though. They'll have to leave him be. Instead, Skitter, he'll move on to the tier 4 tower. Get Execration, they need to find a way to defend this if they want to try and pull off a comeback here in this game 1. They'll move in, Palos trying for something, but the blink away is there. Nine will make the jump in, and now your Ravage comes out 33, right onto the ground. Understanding that'll just basically be GG, and they've got him down. A double kill for Skitter, and GG is called. Palos has seen enough. They haven't got the buybacks available to try and make this fight happen. The Tundra, I mean, it was a decent enough start for Execration, but Tundra eventually just take over, and well, they are Tundra, John. They are the TI11 champions, so game 1 does go the way of the Dire. We'll see if they can try to make a bit of a comeback.